Welcome to Stoughton Media Access Corporation's Community Forum Show. My name is Steve Kelly. I'm your host today. And today I have the pleasure of bringing you Mike LaFleur. Now Mike is almost a fixture in Stoughton, running the streets. You've seen him, I'm sure. He's got a flag and he's very proud of the running that he does and the meaning of that run. So I'd like to introduce you to Mike. And so Mike, tell the audience, if you would, what's that all about, that proud run that you do?
Well, I started about 3 years ago. I started running, and then started bringing the flag about 2 years ago. And I love my country and I love my community. And so I thought, I love running, and I thought that I would bring the flag along to just honor all those men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. And it's my little way of saying thank you. So that's why I run with.
Yeah, that is great. It's very noble, by the way, but you actually do more than just that. I mean, recently you've been doing some plaques, and I think we have a couple of pictures, and maybe we can run them up on the screen. And you can tell us a little bit about the plaques and why it's important and what you've been doing to try and, let's say, make the remembrance of the people that you know. For instance, you might even start by telling us about your dad.
Yeah, well, my father, Michael Edward LaFleur, is a United States Marine who passed away 20 years ago this May. He's buried in Evergreen Cemetery. He served his country with honor and did a lot for the community as well, and so that's why I get my motivation and inspiration from him. He was a double amputee, and so running, I believe, is a gift that a lot of people, take for granted. So to have my legs, to be able to run, is very important to me, and so I do it for him. And his grave was, over time was getting a little, old with the weather and everything like that, and so I restored his grave. Mm-hmm. And after restoring his grave, I decided to move on to the plaques around town. The town called me and said, hey, we have there's me right there after restoring my father's grave there.
Yeah, can we get a close-up on that, Rob? I mean, that is a beautiful bit of work that has been redone. I don't know if we can get any closer, but maybe we have another one that we could show to show that. But so maybe you can tell the audience a little bit about how you redo these plaques. You've also been asked to do one at, I think, the library and the town hall? Yeah,
so at the town hall, they got in touch with me and they said, we built a new library, why don't you do one of the plaques there? And so, which I did. It's my little way of giving back to the community. So I did the plaque at the town hall, at the library. And then the town hall, I drive by there every day and I know Memorial Day was coming up, and so the letters were a little faded, so I called the town hall and they said sure. So I went by there and I did the town hall as well.
So tell us about the actual process. How do you get them to shine again?
Well, I looked on YouTube to learn the process, which is sandpaper, a glossy black paint, and a glossy covering that goes over it. So I sand everything down, and then I repaint it, and then I refurbish it with the gloss, and that brings it back to the original beauty that it was.
And that's like a real labor of love, isn't it?
It is. It makes me feel good. I did, like I said, after doing my father's grave, it gave me that good feeling, that good sensation, and I thought, well, if it makes me feel good doing my dad's grave, maybe it would make other people feel good if I could do their loved ones.
Then didn't you do one for Paul?
I did one for Paul McGeckran.
Yeah.
Paul McGeckran is a 1966 graduate of Stoughton High School. He was co-captain of the Stoughton Black Knights, number 22, which is retired. And he served his country honorably. And then August 15th, 1967, he was killed in action in Vietnam. And I talked to his sisters that live in Arizona, and they allowed me to do his grave.
Nice.
And so, which I did his grave, and he's a hero, and get a little choked up about it because he's, it's.
To lose someone's life that early?
He was 20 years old.
Yeah. And I think that's actually kind of what keeps you going, isn't it? Not like on the runs you do. Tell us about the runs a little, too.
It is. So I started running, I quit smoking 6 years ago.
Yay!
that should be another show for another time.
Another show for anyone who can quit smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was feeling a little better. I could actually breathe again. And, a lot of my friends on Facebook, they run. And I would go to work and see people running, and people think, when you want to do something fun, who thinks of running? Really, at first, I never really thought that would be exciting.
Yeah.
But slowly, I just picked away at it, a little mile here, a little mile there, and so I started running now, and then I just thought I would bring the flag along. I have a friend, Joe Rossi, who's a veteran who does a lot for the community and a lot for veterans, and he runs with the flag.
Yep.
I seen a gentleman on the Boston Marathon, a veteran with missing a leg, that he ran with the flag. And so I thought that would be a great thing to bring along in my runs.
Yep.
And so I went to Home Depot and I got this flag here.
Wonderful.
And I run with it and I bring it everywhere. I bring it on races, on runs. And it's just a great thank you to thank all those that served and sacrificed for our freedom. For me to be able to go for a run every day.
Or to sit here even, just
to even sit
place
here
of
is
safety,
a great
yeah.
honor, and it's all because of them. And so that's why I run with the flag, to say thank you.
Wow. Now, what's a typical run look like? You do like 3 miles, 5 miles? What do you do?
Yeah, well, usually I work during the week, so after work I would say I get out and maybe do a 3-mile run during the week. And on the weekend I like to incorporate maybe a 5 to up to a 10-mile run.
So what's a 5? Where do you start?
So I live on Pearl Street, so I start near the new high school.
Yep.
And then usually I'll go down through the center of town.
Right.
I stop at the monuments too, so I'll stop at the town hall.
Yep.
Then I'll run through down maybe near Town Spa. Come
Okay.
up maybe up Gay Street there near the pond.
Okay.
Come down near where Bob's Food Market is.
Yeah, good.
Down,
All these landmarks in town, they must love to see you go by.
Yeah, they come out. Someone comes out of Bob's with a sandwich, and they say, "Hey, there goes who's this kid running by with a 5-foot American flag?" And they give a wave or something like that. So.
And don't you have like a Facebook following where people take pictures
Yeah,
of you?
so if I'll go for a run, and then later I'll go home on Facebook, and someone will tag me. Oh, there's Mike again. Going down Central Street or Pearl Street or Park Street or a certain street. So
It just makes
and
you feel
I
good,
love
huh?
that. It makes me feel good that the community's been great, and it's great that they acknowledge and stuff like that. So I really appreciate so if anyone from Stoughton's listening, I appreciate all your support and love when I run through the town. I really appreciate it.
Wow.
It
So
means a
now
lot.
you have a hope of like you're going to try to build to a half marathon now?
Yeah, so in July, I'm actually going to run my first half marathon in July in Easton. It's the
Yep.
summer festival. And then maybe down the road, we'll see about a marathon. I think that's on any runner's bucket list, is to get that 26.3 miles, 26.2 miles Boston Marathon.
Wow,
But I'm
that
going
would
to
be
slowly. I
something,
did the
huh?
5K, I've done the 10K, and hope the half marathon this July. So hopefully after that, I'll be able to step it up and.
Good. And if anybody wants to run with you, you're saying, sure, touch
Sure.
base with me on Facebook.
A few of my friends have
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I'm not busy today. Can I go for a run?" And I don't mind that. You want to go for a run? I mean, let me know, and we'll run around
and share the exposure of the flag, the beauty of the
yeah.
country.
It feels good to know that people just
Still think that we, in spite of the kind of the media barrage,
yeah.
kind of heading us in other directions,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good that people can say, no, this is a great country.
Yeah, nowadays it's the flag. It's a hot topic, I believe now. But I don't run for any president or any political belief. I just run to honor the veterans and the fallen soldiers and my father. That's the main reason that I run with the flag.
Yeah, so you don't have to be put persuasion, whichever party you're in. There's nothing to do with this.
No, it's
Good.
simply just honoring the men and women that sacrificed their lives today and every day, honoring, and that's why I run for them. There's nothing really behind it. That's the main reason. No.
Yeah. Oh, that just sounds so terrific. So you would hope to get to the marathon stage within a year, would you say? Do you think it'll be that much, or what do you think?
I would probably say maybe about a year.
Yeah. And now, so just something simple enough. Tell us about the sneakers that you use.
Well, I use the New Balance sneakers. I mean, when I first started running, I had no idea. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't have the proper clothes. I didn't have the proper sneakers.
Yeah.
I was a mess early on.
Right.
But as I continued to run, and I got the proper socks. I mean, that's the key. If you're going to get into running, you're going to
Okay.
need the proper sneakers, the proper socks, because you get blisters and stuff like that. So I got the New Balance sneakers, which when you're running, it's like you're gliding now. So there's no blisters,
Oh, I'm gonna have
especially when
to
you
get
go
some
on.
of those, because when I run it, there's no gliding going on.
Yeah, so especially when you go on those long runs, I mean, it
Yeah.
can take a toll on your feet. So definitely get the proper footwear, the proper socks, and then you're off.
Good. Now, when did you graduate Stoughton High?
I'm a high school graduate, 1996. Go Black Knights.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because when I run, I run through the town, and sometimes I'll run when the Stoughton Black Knights football team's practicing, and they see me and they wave to me, and it's pretty cool, and I wave to them. So they've been very inspirational to me they're practicing and they'll stop and they'll give a wave and stuff like that. So the Black Knights, they had a great year, and I appreciate everything they've done for me.
Yeah, I think too your message is really of unification, and I think that's something that we're all kind of hoping to get to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small town, and I think that we do a great job honoring and remembering our vets during Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and this is just another way of just bringing the town together and having something positive.
Yeah.
And the town has been amazing. The community has been great. When I go on runs, people will beep, people will scream out, "Oh, I love America!" Little kids will hand their hand out the window of their car and they'll slap me 5. Veterans will put their hand over their hearts. And I was at Stop and Shop the other day. Some guy came out to me and just said, I'm a veteran. I just wanted to thank you for all that you do. And it's just, it makes me feel good.
It's a heartwarming thing, yeah. Now, you've also had one maybe minor incident in 5 years or so.
Yeah, I mean,
where somebody probably flipped you or something.
Yeah, they flipped me off.
You just handle it well. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about America. Everyone, with the kneeling of the flag maybe and stuff, people have their own opinions, and that's what I love about America. You can kind of, express your own opinion.
Yep.
So I was running one day, and some guy gave me, maybe it was the number 1 sign. I don't think it was,
maybe it was.
Maybe it was, but I think it was the finger, and I just raised the flag up higher, and hey, love it or leave it. I mean, you don't have to really agree, and it doesn't really affect me. Yeah. I think with anything in life, you can have those people that are gonna, have naysays and try to bring you down, but I don't think anything can really bring me down. It builds me up more, I believe.
It's a real inspirational story. I mean,
yeah.
Mike, that is great. What about like teenagers and stuff? Do you ever have an opportunity to get to those kids who are so impressionable?
A lot of the teenagers, they see me. I think when they first see me, it's kind of like, hey, what's going on here? They see me running. They think, is there a parade behind me? They don't know what's happening at first. But I think when they know the story and they learn more about me, I think they appreciate it more. Like when I run by the high school, when I have a day off with the junior high school or something like that, the kids are out there and they actually clap. They America, and I think they're very receptive to seeing me. I think at a younger age, they kind of don't maybe understand it, but I think seeing me, that brings it out a little bit more, and I think they appreciate it.
Yeah.
And they've been very, I was running and the Stoughton band was out practice one day, and they would give me a round of applause. And
wow.
During Christmas, I was running. Some guy came out and gave me $20. I said, no, I don't. He said, I see you running all the time. Go get yourself a pair of sneakers or something.
Okay.
A young kid came out and he was going to hand me a bottle of water. So the town has been awesome and receptive to me running with the flag. I think over time they've come to embrace me a little bit more, and they understand what's going on and stuff like that. So they've been fantastic.
Yeah, wow. Now, Rob's one of our producers out back. We have a couple more pictures that we could show. So wondering if we can get those up, Rob. And then we'll have Mike give us some discussion on that. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see this picture.
Yeah, so that's me just on a rainy day. I mean, if you're a runner, I think if you have the itch to run, you kind of get out there in any weather.
Okay.
And that's me kind of with my poncho on doing a run. Because you think back of World War II when the soldiers were out there and it was minus 30 degrees, or in Vietnam when the soldiers were out there and it was pouring rain. They didn't say, oh, hey, I'm going to stop because it's raining, or I'm going to stop because it's cold. And so that inspires me to keep going no matter the weather, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whether it's raining.
What a beautiful picture, too.
Any type of weather.
Running behind you in a flow.
Yeah, I mean, when it's windy, it gets kind of, I'm running one way and the flag's trying to blow me another way.
Yeah.
But, it's just the honor of holding it high. And that's another picture when I was, coming home and someone snapped that picture of me. I think that looks like a blizzard maybe. The snow's falling and the flag's blowing. And
so, Stoughton, we need more pictures of Mike.
They're out there. They're always, every run, they're always.
We want to start a picture barrage,
they're always, pictures. Yeah, and that's great. They're always, like I said, they're beeping and showing support and always showing, taking pictures and stuff like that. Well, I really appreciate it. Town has been amazing.
So when you were in high school, did you ever think of yourself as taking a position like this, such an honorable position? Everybody else is doing Facebook, all these, what is the phrase? I think that the latest shiny object type of
what is it? The broom now? They're holding the broom up. Do you see that new thing where?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
But instead of did you ever picture yourself as doing something with so much sincerity as this?
You know, not really. You know, my father took me to the Vietnam War when I was younger, and
The war
I
memorial?
looked the memorial,
Yep.
and I looked at the names, and I thought, oh, hey, that was beautiful. But I didn't really understand that, you know, Stoughton has 11 names on that wall that are from Stoughton from Vietnam. You know, you have the Paul McEachrons, you have the Gary Guests, you have the Peter Mears, you have the Kevin Clancy's, the James Signets, the George Evans.
You got most of them.
Those are all
right
those
front
are
of your
all from
memory.
Stoughton, and those are all veterans that were on the wall. So I didn't really understand it younger growing up. I mean, I appreciate it. My father's a Marine, so I understood it and appreciated it, but I didn't really, till I started doing the graves and learning the names and learning the stories behind the names, that I actually got a clearer picture of you know what they went through and what they meant to the town. And to have so many soldiers that gave their life that was from Stoughton is just a great honor, and now I appreciate it more.
So you're really taking a leadership position. What do you attribute your development of leadership? How have you developed yourself as a leader?
I'd rather be a leader than a follower. I just try to, you know, I think it all comes back to my father, to make him proud.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, he'd be very proud.
Yeah, that's a picture of him there. That's my father when he was in the United States Marines.
Yeah. And that is wonderful.
And-
And so tell us more of his story, because you said that he was a double amputee. So what is more?
Yeah,
of
so he was working in Boston, and the forklift actually fell on his leg, and it contracted gangrene, and so they had to amputate his left leg, and it went through, it spread up to his body, and they had to amputate his right leg to try to stop the disease.
Right.
And over time, it continued through his body, and he had to have his fingers amputated. And so something like that, a disease, the doctor said you wouldn't live to see 50. He passed away when he was 47. I was 23.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that didn't stop him. He drove a car. He
Yep.
played basketball. He took karate at the Okinawa Karate Club and became a green belt.
Wow.
He was the he created a commission, the handicap commission in Stoughton, which was, he would go around town and he would, you know, say this place needs a ramp. These curbs need to be lowered. He helped build the CAP playground.
Mm-hmm.
So I get my inspiration from him. He was very sick and he had a lot going on. There he is at the that was taken in New York at the Marine Corps parade. And so he did a lot, and even with his disease, he had no legs, but he really stood taller than any man that I knew. He's just a great inspiration, and that's really why that I continue to do what I do, because he's just a great man. And
Yeah. No one's ever truly dead unless they are forgotten.
Right.
And he's not forgotten, right?
he's never forgotten.
So tell us about your mom too.
My mom lives in Stoughton with my sister Brandy as well.
Yep.
She's been having some back issues, but you know, my mom's ever since my dad's been gone, my mom's a great inspiration as well. She's always been there for me, and you know, I love her dearly. And
And
my
I'm
sister
sure
is
she's going to be
sister
very
as well.
proud to see this.
Yeah, I always, you know, if I'm in the paper or something comes up, I always bring it to her and always show her, and she, you know, says she's very proud of me, and you know,
Yeah.
how my father would be proud, and my sister's proud, and the family's proud of all that I do to, you know, to keep the LaFleur name alive. You know, when I was younger, my name might have been in the paper for something else, you know, maybe drinking in the woods or something like that, or, you know, running around. But
We
now,
all had
I'm
those
in the
early
news for
moments in our
something
lives.
positive,
Yeah.
and I'm proud and honored to keep the LaFleur name alive. And
Yeah, so that is just a terrific kind of thought process. And what did you hope to be when you grew up, so to speak, back then? And like, how has it changed now?
well, back then I wanted to be, JFK is my hero, like President Kennedy, so I
Yeah.
wanted to be president.
Okay.
I wanted to be a Marine like my father.
Yeah.
But then after he passed away, I was staying with my mom, and I just kind of, you know, forgot about that. But that's something I always wanted to do, and I just always wanted to be maybe a basketball player, be positive. I never thought of being a runner. That
Yeah.
never crossed my mind. You know, you would think you would want to be a runner when you're 20 or 30 years old, and here I am. I started when I was 40 years old to run, so I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball, but I'm kind of making up for it now. As
40's the new 20. It's okay.
40 is the new 20. I'll be 43 in April, and so that's just so that's where I'm at now. Is just, you know, running is
And it's very healthy for you. Now, you mentioned your heart rate is now much lower.
Much lower. A few years ago when I was smoking and just hanging around, it was probably about 90, 95. I went last year to the doctors and it's down to about 60, my resting heart rate. So
nice.
Running has a lot of great benefits. I still don't eat as well. I still have my iced coffee, so I think my Danino's pizza, go on down to Danino's, they have the best pizza in town. And so I think to kind of average that off, I start running and then I can kind of...
Yeah. So it's just a great activity, and it's helped you to replace the smoking piece, which is good,
Yeah.
right? We don't want to do any of that.
No, and instead of, if I'd be at home and maybe I'd feel maybe I miss my dad or something, instead of maybe sitting at home feeling sad about it or something like that, I would grab my flag and I'd go for a run. So I turn those tears into something positive, so I run for him. And
So I'm thinking like in 10 years we'll do another show for you.
yeah.
And there'll be like a million pictures of you.
Oh, I imagine that.
Yeah, because it seems to me that this is in your blood now.
Yeah, well, it's in my blood, and I don't think I'll stop. I mean, it's a small town, so it's not often that you see someone run through town with a 5-foot American flag. So I think, a lot of people notice me. And
Yeah.
like I said, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and so I think everyone's, oh, there's Mike, there he goes, running down the street. Okay.
Crazy Mike.
Crazy Mike.
Okay.
And the, Stoughton Police has been very inspirational as well. Like I'll run and they'll hit their blues on their cruises, or they'll go over the radio and say, "Good job, Mike." So that's
Nice.
another. They do that as well. So that I want to shout out to them. And I have different flags as well. I have a Stoughton Police flag, so I'll run for them because they do a great job in town, and they lost a lot of officers in the country as well. And I have a firefighter's flag. Victor Melendez's anniversary just came up. He gave his life for the town.
Yep.
So I run with the firefighter's flag. I have a POW flag that I also bring occasionally, and a Black Knights flag I have to honor the kids, Nick, David, Eric, and Chris, who passed away, that were killed in the car crash in Bridgewater. So I run with that flag as well to represent them. So it feels good and the families and everyone, they enjoy it too, to represent, just to honor them. And it makes them feel good that, hey, someone's remembering them as I go by. So it's a great inspiration.
Well, I think you're doing a really great thing. I mean, it gives you purpose, which is we're all searching for a better meaning, better purpose, and especially in these times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, when I go for a run and the flag gets heavy, I just think of all those brave men and women that, serve and sacrifice, and I just, because people say, oh, does the flag get heavy? It does. I mean, when it rains or when it's windy, it gets kind of heavy and a little awkward, but I think of them, and then there's just no way I'm letting go of that flag, and I just hold it up and I continue. Especially on the windy, especially New England, you never know what kind of weather you're going to get as you go out there. I mean, I come home, it could be sunny, it could be snowy, it could be raining. You don't know what you're going to get.
yeah.
So I just, I think of them and say, no matter what, I'm going to get out there and go, and then I grab my flag and I'm off.
All right. Well, I'm going to take a minute to just thank the staff, and then we'll come back and just finalize your thoughts.
Perfect.
So just for the moment, I just want to say thank you to the people in the background. We have a fairly new camera guy, Myron, and he's doing a great job. And we have Rob out back as well, Rob Rutella. So we've got some new staff here. And in addition to some of the old guys like Dave Young, Mike Hammond's helped out, Roy Cohen, of course. And we want to thank them for helping us as we move forward. So we also have to put up on our board, which I hope Rob will do, is some thank you for one of our long-term sponsors, Maxie's. So, and there's Maxie's Delicatessen. So they've always helped out, helping us to produce a good show. So coming back to you, Mike, some final thoughts. What would you say to other people who entertain this idea, who might want to do that?
Start running?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great, whether you're walking or running, people say, well, I can't run, Mike. Well, then you can walk. You don't have to run. And I also want to say that if anyone out there has a family member that lives in Stoughton that is a veteran, and their grave was like my father's and gets kind of old, and over the years, you can reach out to me on Facebook. And if I have a chance, I have a couple lined up this year, but I would be honored to do your family member that is a veteran that's buried in Stoughton.
Yeah, and just take their plaque and enhance it, bring it back to them.
Yes, yeah, and you can reach me through Facebook. You can just look up my name and send me a message. If we're not friends, we can become friends and send me a message. And if, like I said, you have a family member that needs their grave or their plaque done that looks like my father's, I'll be honored to do theirs as well.
Yeah.
And if you're a runner and you want to go for a run with me, that's awesome. And if you want to get into running, it's a great, you know, to get the heart running.
Yeah, it gives you a more natural high too.
Yeah,
right?
they say a run is high, which I was like, what is a run is high? I don't understand that. But as you started running, you know, like mile 2, I would be kind of tired, but then mile 3 or 4, you get that runner's high. You get that endorphin that flowing through your brain that really actually, it is like a high. You do feel like it does pick you up. And so the runner's high is true, and it does.
Alive and well in Mike LaFleur.
Exactly. It's great.
All right. All right, well, we're going to close the show. I want to thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing.
It's an honor. Thank you very
really,
much.
the great idea. It's an inspiration, but it's also the authentic inspiration that you feel from your dad. I think it's unmatchable.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, it's just my way of saying thank you. I never served, so I was looking for ways to, how can I say thank you? I'm running, but let me do something else. So I bring the flag, and that's just my way of saying thank you to all the veterans that are serving, that have served, that, you know, every day they're out there protecting us. And
this is great. I'm telling you, it's a visible symbol,
Yeah.
and I think that is something the whole country needs, frankly.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
stand up, and
Yeah.
this is a symbol of appreciation, and I really think
you should be
it's
proud
great.
of them. A lot of people fought and died for the flag, and the flag
Yeah,
means
World War II, World War I. Yeah, it's
millions,
not just
millions, all the wars,
Korean
all
War,
the
Vietnam War, everything.
millions of people have
The
fought
Afghanistan
and
War,
died.
all of these wars. Yeah.
Right. So we should be honored and grateful that they served and you know, paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to live every day. And I'm honored by them, and it's my way of saying thank you.
Wonderful. It's a great message.
Yeah, thank you very
Mike
much.
LaFleur, Stoughton runner, and my name is Steve Kelly. Thank you very much for watching the Community Forum show. I want to thank everybody in the background, Roy Cohen, Mike Hammond, some of the people that we don't get to see much. And thank you all, especially, for watching the show. We appreciate it.